Alright, well hello again everyone and welcome out. This is Ankit from Maverick Currencies here, and in this video we'll be taking a quick deep dive into the euro as we are 24 hours away, or less than 24 hours away, for the ECB rate statement that's due tomorrow. We have to now prepare and look at both case scenarios. What if the euro turns out to be the strongest currency, and what if the euro turns out to be the weakest currency, and which pairs actually looks the best? If you're already in a euro position, realize that tomorrow we're going to expect some volatility. We could expect some movement, and we should expect that from all the central bank events lately, because that's where the big moves or changes have been coming from. So euro, let's talk about euro. And if you take a look at euro in general in a euro basket outlook, you can see that euro has been on a pretty big tumble. And this week, or in the past few days, we have seen the euro kind of stabilize a little bit and actually moving higher in the shorter term. So the big question is this an opportunity to kind of sell on the news, or are we actually seeing the downward move is actually kind of played out, and maybe we should be looking for a reversal? So this is where we'll be taking a look at some charts, some setups, and see which way which way we actually get a better risk to reward ratio. Now, in a general scheme of things, if you look at the daily chart, I mean, this is just a very simple bear rally to me. We have seen this euro been in this little channel for the longest time, and we actually got a nice little break. So if you rally a little bit here, this is a typical bear rally pattern, and at this point, we just need to see a break further for this to confirm. And I think once we break that basket, I think that's when we are going to see a much bigger movement on the euro. So the question is this something we can see from the ECB that could actually spark or give us a catalyst for that kind of move to happen? So let's take a look at the next 24 hours. And as we are looking at the ECB rate statement, they're looking to raise rates by 25 basis points. So as you can see, 25 basis points is relatively smaller compared to other central banks that are raising rates by 50 basis points. I mean, we have Swiss Bank, who raised rates by 50 basis points. We also have now Bank of Canada, who raised rates by one full percentage point. So as you can see, there's actually this is much on the lower end. So the question is that are we going to see the ECB kind of disappoint by being a little bit less aggressive? Because right now, if you are aggressive as a central bank, you know, that's where the big moves are coming from. But if you guys are going to be a little bit more on the disappointing side or less hawkish, then I think we have a little bit more headwinds for the currency. So at this point, I mean, looking at the setup, looking at the chart, I mean, we actually made a nice little run early this week on this euro, on the euro on the long side, and you can see that it actually gave back gains pretty quickly. So at this point, I do like euro more to the downside than the upside. And again, the only exception would be, and as we've seen early this week on some reports, the euro actually rallied, that the ECB is planning on raising rates by 50 basis points. So again, if they do raise rates more than expected, I think we could see potentially euro rise further, because right now nobody's really buying the euro or believing the ECB can really take a stronger stance against inflation. So if the euro they come out stronger, I think we could see a bit of a buying opportunity there. But overall, we still like euro to the downside. So let's take a look at some major pairs that we are actually watching. I mean, we should take a look at euro dollar. We actually bounced right off the parity level, which again is dollar 1-to-1 as the exchange rate. You can see that I got a nice little rally here, and at this point, I mean, I still like this on a further downside. I think we can still test this parity level. I mean, we are seeing euro actually break that parity level against other currencies like Swiss franc. You can see that actually broke. I mean, we got this little hesitance right at first at 100 at the parity level. And actually after that, we actually did break further. So the euros already has made moves. Again, Swiss franc is a good example. The euro dollar is kind of in the list there. So we do like euro further to the downside, especially off this bear rally. Again, I think at this point, depending on which time frame you're looking at to set up the chart, I mean, right now I would place the stops right above this as a previous resistance. And if it actually gives up this little rally that we actually have on hand, I mean, this is a nice 170, 180 pip rally that we got that could easily roll over, and that could happen tomorrow. So that's the first setup that we're looking at. We also look at options for other currency pairs. I mean, we have looked at EURCAD. There's a lot of euro crosses that are actually either breaking lower or on the verge of breaking lower. We had nice little breakdown in the euro CAD, same thing. We got a little nicer bear rally. So at this point, we see a lot of bear rallies taking place across the board. And now other currencies like EURUSD, you can see that this is right on the verge of breaking. And again, we've seen the Aussie done well lately. As you can see right now, euro is not really catching any lift. So EURUSD seems like it's ready for a breakdown. And again, if it breaks this level, the next level of support comes at about 144. So there's a decent level of risk to reward ratio on some of these trades here. EURJPY is another one, and following the exact same path. We have the support in place, but if it breaks that, again, now we're looking at from 163 now down to 156. So there's a lot of decent pairs, even Euro Swiss franc. I think Euro Swiss franc kind of gone sideways a little bit here, so don't have a strong outlook on the Euro Swiss franc, but I think there's opportunities outside of that. We have the euro yen. Again, we are not looking at yen as a long candidate. We'll have the Bank of Japan policy statement tonight, and again, this will only turn around if the Bank of Japan can make a change to their policy. But euro yen is kind of not making these highs. If you look at other pairs like the Aussie yen, you can see there's a relative strength in other currencies, but euro is not showing relative strength. The euro is actually showing relative weakness. So there's actually better short setups as we look at euro Aussie, euro Kiwi, euro US dollar. I think that's definitely my favorite here to play against that dollar. But outside of that, euro against the pound, I think pound is also on the relative weaker side. So I don't really love this setup over here. So I think that we are kind of left with about 3 to 4 euro crosses that could actually potentially make a bigger move. And a euro CAD, I think, is the one that's after the euro dollar. Euro CAD actually looks pretty weak to me as well. So nice little bear rallies, depending on what time frame you're choosing. We are looking for multi-day trade here, multi-day move. So you can see we were actually quite bearish over here. We got a nice little bear rally. And if you're trying to be long, I think you have to wait for the initial price action to settle down tomorrow before we jump on any sort of euro long crosses. But at this point, we are getting better setups on the euro short than the euro long. And again, if the euro long is the play tomorrow, then we'll be actually going through this in the ECB press conference tomorrow. We'll be meeting live. We'll go through the pairs and then we'll take a look at it. But I think we'll see a bigger move right off the bat here tomorrow, as right at about the rate statement. Actually, as about 8:45. Okay, so there's a bit of a difference here with the timing. Usually, we get the the policy statement about 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but tomorrow we have it at 8:15, and the press conference doesn't start till 8:45. I actually think that there could be move both of these statements, and also for the initial one, especially if there's a shock. If they are raising rates more than expected, I think we'll probably get a bigger move right off the bat there as well. So just want to make a note there that the timings are a little bit different tomorrow based on this calendar. Usually the press conference starts at 8:30. In this case, it seems like the press conference starts at 8:45. So we'll still be meeting at 8:15. So we'll be covering this in the class, and hopefully we can catch a decent move off of that. But just realize there will be bigger moves, there will be volatility. So if you're unsure for the direction, always wait for the better price action, wait for confirmation before we jump on. But that's the Euro outlook, and again, we'll see you guys tomorrow in the ECB class. Take care, everyone. Cheers.